Okay. So what we have done over here, we have just launched the URL using a configuration parameters. So we have added a configuration parameter over here. Okay. As this one, and then the same value we are calling using this one. So the syntax will be curly braces CP configuration parameter, then square bracket, and the value you are passing from the test case configuration, that is URL only. So we are adding it over here. And after that, what we are doing, we are buffering a value. So we click on the motorcycle and whatever value we have, we are buffering it over here. And now I will going to verify that with the vehicle insurance, my buffer is getting saved on. So I'm going to click on the buffer viewer. As you can see, vehicle insurance, motorcycle insurance is getting buffer. Okay. Now what I have to do, I don't want the full buffer. I want the partial buffer. Okay. So for that, what I have to do, I will going to use a partial buffer. So you can like inner text vehicle insurance, and I will going to write curly braces X B square bracket, and I will type vehicle. I just want to get the vehicle details. That's it. I don't want the insurance part. Okay. Now it will going to buffer the value, whatever value you have before the insurance. Okay. So this is motorcycle or camper, whatever it is. It will going to buffer it. But the action mode should be verify. If you are using a partial buffer, so the action mode should be verify only. So using this XP buffer, let's see if we are able to get the result or not. So I'm going to close this one and execute this one. Okay, so my execution has been completed. I will go to this and let's expand. Application was successful and it will going to buffer the value. Now we want to verify what value buffers. We go to the vehicle. As you can see, only the motorcycle is getting buffered. Insurance part is getting trimmed over here. Okay, from here, just we have buffer the motorcycle part. Okay, the same way if I click on other value, okay, let it be like I will do okay, if I click on automobile, so it should buffer the automobile. If I run this one, then let's see why it is getting failed. Okay, so we have selected a property for this as a motorcycle only. So that's why we're going to jump to the modules and okay, let's see what properties we have for this one. As you can see, the properties are IDs and as well as the inner text. Okay, so I will going to remove this property because it will look for always inner text as a motorcycle only, and then only it will going to work. So one property will be enough to identify it. Okay, so if I go back and re-execute my test case. Okay, so it should buffer the automobile. If I click on the automobile, if I click on any of the vehicle, only the vehicle part should be buffered. So if I go over here, okay, let's go to the buffer here itself. Yeah, so vehicle automobile is getting selected. Okay, any questions up till now for buffering the value? So whenever you are using a partial buffer, you have to make sure that you are using an action mode as a verify. Then only it will going to buffer the value. Okay. Okay, so if you don't want to trim and value and all, so you want to buffer this value in some other variable and all. So what you can do? So let me do it this way. So we have another module. Okay, just I will go with the vehicle insurance and I will make action mode as a verify. Sorry, buffer. It will going to buffer a value. Now I will going to trim the value. So I have a standard models over here. If you don't want to use XP and also we have another alternative. So that will be under buffer. So you have to go to the standard modules, T-box automation tools, and then you have a buffer operation. So these are the buffer value you can use. Okay. Now TC set buffer I will going to use and I will going to use partial buffer. So I will go and drag and drop this value in my position in my test case. Okay. Now what I will do, I want to get some value so you can use these many parameters. Okay. You already have a buffer like I will go with curly braces. So if you want to fetch the buffer, you have to use curly braces, B square bracket, and then these many buffer you have. Okay, so I will go with the vehicle insurance and square bracket. This is the value we have, and you want to rename with a new buffer. So I will going to name it as a vehicle buffer. Okay, so you can mention the position over here. So if you have a text like you already have a buffer, vehicle insurance buffer we have, and you want to get the buffer with a specific position. So you can mention like from first, it will be from 1 and it should end on 5. Okay. So if I execute this one, so this value will be taken. Okay. If you already have a buffer, you can name the buffer over here or else you can enter some string. So if I run this, so only first 5 character will get buffer under vehicle buffer. Okay, so I will go to the buffer viewer, vehicle buffer. As you can see, only first 5 character of vehicle insurance. Okay, we have a vehicle insurance over here as a value. So we just pass a vehicle insurance over here. So vehicle insurance is having a motorcycle value and the first five character they have buffered starting from 1 to 5. Okay. The same way if you want to like buffer it from the last position, so you can do that as well. Okay. So I will make it as 8 and then I will go to run this one. Okay, now let's see. Yeah. So from last 8 character, it will go into buffer. Okay. Any confusion on the buffer side? If you don't have any buffer, you want any string to be changed, you can directly type uh, Oscar automation. Okay. If you already have a string, you can want to buffer, you can do that as well. If I run it, so it will going to capture from last 8 character. So as you can see, the last 8 character of this string is getting buffered. If you want to pass any buffer value, you can pass. You want to pass the string, you already have a string, and it will going to buffer you with the value. So you have to pass the name of the buffer over here, like this one, vehicle buffer, and this is the value. It will going to buffer the value. Any questions up till now? Okay, this is the partial buffer. You can trim as per your position. Then we have a normal T box set buffer. So you just have to add it over here. Okay, so under TC set buffer, you just have to mention the name of the buffer, like buffer value, and you can pass any value over here with which you want to buffer the value. So I will pass as a Tosca buffer. So just it will going to buffer the value with this key and this value. So if I run this one, it is a simple model. It is going to just buffer the value. That's it. Okay, so if I go down, yeah, so buffer value with Tosca buffer you are getting. It won't do any, you can't do any changes in the position and all. Okay, so this is simple T-box set buffer. Just have to pass the value and it will going to buffer with that name. In partial buffer, you have to mention the position and all. So you can trim the value. Okay, so like in my test cases, I'm using some buffer and that will be used in somewhere else, in some other test cases. So this needs to be updated or this needs to be deleted. This value should be deleted. So for that, what I will do, I will going to use T-box delete buffer. So I have to mention the name of the buffer over here. Okay, which buffer you want to delete. So if I pass a vehicle, so this buffer will get deleted. I run this one. So you have to make sure that when you are using this model, so it should be properly passed a value. Okay. So my vehicle value is deleted from here. You won't be able to see the vehicle buffer over here. Okay, if I go with buffer val, let's see. Buffer val the name should be correct, then only it will be able to delete the buffer. Okay, so the last value buffer val is deleted. What if you are not providing any value and you are just executing the tbox delete buffer? So it will going to delete all the values if you are not providing the any specific buffer over there. Name of the buffer. Okay, as you can see, all the buffers is getting deleted. So when you using tbox delete buffer, you have to make sure that you are providing a particular name which buffer you have to delete, or else it will going to delete all your buffers. Okay, and it will going to impact your execution. Any questions up till now? And the last one will be a tbox name to the buffer. This will not going to work in a scratch book. Okay, you have to use it in a execution list, then only it will going to work. So this buffer, what it will do, it will going to buffer the name of the test cases. So you have the test case name is vehicle buffer, the action mode. Okay, so if you add this module under your test case, it will going to buffer the name of your test cases. Whatever test case you name it, it will going to buffer it. So this will not going to work in Scratchbook. If you try to execute in Scratchbook, let's see what will happen. It will going to give you as a Scratchbook as a text. Okay, if I go to the buffer viewer, yeah, TC name is Scratchbook. So it will not going to show you the test case name. The same if I do it for, so let's go to the execution list, and I'm gonna add one test cases over here. And I have list and add my test cases over here. So we're going to see in detail what is the execution standard. Just for your info, I'm just showing you. If I execute this one, oh, this site goes to the maintenance, so you won't be able to do. Okay, let it be. Okay, so what I will do, I will, instead of executing all the steps, I will just execute the tbox tc buffer. Okay, I'm going to disable the remaining steps and just execute the single value tbox name, and let's see if we are able to buffer the value or not. So if I'm going to execute this one, okay, so as you can see, my test case name is getting buffered with a vehicle buffer. So the name which I have provided for my test cases, okay, it is getting buffered. So if you are using this module with this name, whatever name you will going to provide, it will going to buffer the name of your test cases. Okay, this one. Any questions up till now regarding this many buffer, partial buffer, then we have T-box set buffer, then we have field buffer, T-box name to the buffer, and then we saw how to trim the value using a partial buffer. This is called as a dynamic buffer, in which we use XD. Any questions up till now for the buffer part? So on the basis of that only, I'm going to give you the assignment. Okay. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will take it as a no. Okay, so let's stop the recording.